In my last episode, about a week ago, I had given an information of the eminent plants of tropical countries like India, namely Audumber, Agadarita indica, that is bitter neem. Then third is banyan tree, and fourth is peepal. So these four trees are the blessings to the country like India, because we have toured almost all half the world. All the Asiatic in the Middle East countries, which have got very high temperature or more the temperature than India, and less water, high temperature, less water, and the identical conditions like the India. But there we don't see these trees, which are blessing to this country. Why I say blessing? Because the small two-legged birds like the sparrow, the salunki, the vulture or the crow, a parrot, and these birds, they eat the ripened fruits of all these trees, four trees which I have mentioned, and they take and eat, they engulf these seeds or the fruits, and these fruits, after taking, they remain in their stomach overnight or 2 days, and the digestive juices which are secreted in their body, they are treated, those seeds are treated, the seeds of those fruits are treated, and they drop these seeds of fruits in the feces, and these feces or these seeds actually find a way in the creeks of the walls made out of bricks, walls made out of stones, and you will be surprised to see that in a very utmost very difficult condition, these plants, without the help of anybody, not even any caretaker, no water, no manure, no fertilizer, no post management or interculturing, all these millions of trees of all these four species are coming in the walls in the different difficult places, and they create a very good weather, congenial weather for the India, for India. Why I have taken these four trees and brought them into to your notice, that every year we perform the Vana Mahotsav, and in Vana Mahotsav we find that the survival of the plants is very less due to obvious unnatural conditions or the adverse climatic conditions, one of the reasons, and other reasons are many reasons which we probably don't find the proper care taking and negligence for the maintenance of these trees. But if these trees are there in tropical country like India, they should be made best use of their growth, and they control and they maintain they are not only eco-friendly, but these trees are eco-enriching plants to maintain the declination of the pollution, and they enhance the environment for the betterment of the life of mankind. You know, after making a study, when you go through the net, you'll find all these four trees, they're all parts, like bark, like leaves, then petiole, then stem, roots, and what extracts and the latex which oozes out of their body is highly medicinal in the Ayurveda, and you will feel that if this is utilized, 50% of the diseases of the children, the adolescent, the youngsters, the older people or the senior citizens could be alleviated, or they could be properly cured with minimum side effect and less capital investment for the curing of the people. So this really, this Ayurvedic plants is really a blessing to country like tropical country like India, who are God-fearing people and who have got the great trust, and not a orthodox or not superstitious, but it has got India has got is civilization and ethical generation after generation, 4,000 years of civilization. and it is based on the experimentations, and the Ayurveda is the oldest science of curing all types of living bodies on the earth, and India is the leading country in this concept. Now I come to this another plant, that is the rain tree, because there was 3 years before, or continuously there was a rain, there was a drought, and this drought was very disastrous, that made the life of millions of people all over India unbearable. Lot of suicides came, and people were helpless how to overcome this plight. But in my mind, when I was contemplating and thinking as to what solution could be found out, the solution of creating or implementing the artificial rain by investing lot of money is not a practical solution to overcome this or circumspect this problem. What I found, that rain tree is one of the good tree which is coming under the tropical condition of India, and is a deciduous plant that comes all the way in various other countries of the world. When we went through the literature on this rain tree, this tree is really very typical. Its shape is like an umbrella, and it grows very profusely. Its height is up to 80 to 90 feet. Up to 5 years, it rises to about 30 feet. But to tell you the best example and its implication in the general way, I tell you that how the rain tree is named as rain tree. The best example I can quote you, that rain tree is the one that catches the cloud that pass over them, and because of the cold weather, the clouds, they become they pour the rain just in the vicinity of rain tree, and therefore that tree is named as rain tree. Now, how to cite the example, I can tell you that I was student in 1957 of the College of Agriculture, Pune, and subsequently I was professor and scientist in the same alumni. So, Professor Dr. H.A. Mann, who was heading the post of principal of the College of Agriculture in 1905. So from the entrance gate at the Masoba gate to the main English alumna of the College of Agriculture, Pune, there is a approach road and main road, and on both the sides, left and right, he had planted at the spacing of 30 by 30, and in 4 rows, 2 rows on the left hand side of the main road and 2 rows on the right hand side of the main road. These rain trees were planted 106 years back in 1905 to 1911, and these trees are now about 80-90 feet high, and their bark is about 15 to 18 feet in circumference. Now these trees, what I quoted, that these trees give rain, and really in rainy season or when the clouds are above, flying on these rain trees anywhere, but especially what I am referring to an example of our college of Pune, they used to rain it very voraciously, very powerful, and then it used to continue when we used to come out of that road, out of that gate, and we used to see go towards the Simla office or the observatory, and that row avenue was of the banyan tree. And this banyan tree, that used to get also rain because of the typical cold weather that was created by banyan tree, because they were also very old trees. And when we used to reach the Shaniwarwada, because it's a heart of the city and highly thickly populated by people, and therefore there was no trees, but the roads were dry. So it is very exemplary that the trees, when they get a cloud below, above, and it gives the rain. Similarly, we can quote a common example of Pimpri-Chinchwad area, when it was not urbanized as today, about 40 years back. It was greenery, it was a semi-forest area, and when the first rains after touching Mumbai, Konkan, Mumbai, and it used to come to Pune after 3 days. It used to reach, the Pimpri-Chinchwad in the evening, and from 4 to 6 o'clock in the evening, it used to pour rain like a regular rainfall. The monsoon has started in the month of June and July. And then it used to come next day or third day in Pune region. So, because the Pimpri-Chinchwad area in that time was having highly vegetation, a lot of trees were there. It was a rural area and not urbanized as of today. This is the best example that we can quote how the forest and the plants, they give water to the use of mankind. Now let us come to the rain tree. Rain tree, how they are very widely cultivated in tropical countries. But now when I was talking about the 4 trees which I have just covered, we see it only in India. In Middle East countries like the Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Jebel Ali, Sharjah, Muscat, Bahrain, and Kuwait, we did not see any of the 4 trees which I explained previously. And same thing, the rain tree was not there. But when we see in China, 2 years back we visited China, the Beijing part and Beijing city and Shanghai and part of rural areas of China for understanding the agriculture in China, the agriculture development in China. None of these trees we noticed, that is of Azadirachta indica canonim, the banyan tree, the peepal and the Audumbara. Now, also we didn't see the rain tree. So same thing is in the America. In the United States of America, when we visited the Botanical Garden of Washington, or Botanical Garden of America in Washington, we saw this peepal tree and the passion fruit or Krishna Kamal creeper and the Audumbara in museum, plant cafeteria only. And we didn't notice the general trees what we see everywhere. And you will be surprised that people people tree which we saw in an aluminum pipe which used to be supporting the telegraphic or telephonic wire, when it was cut off naturally, so in that 15-feet pipe, a 12-feet heighted peepal tree grew, and it was really astonishing. It had no support except the pipe, no soil, no water, only rainwater used to be there. It automatically grew about 15 feet and a 12-feet pipe. So it is really surprising and very astonishing, and what nature has created for the mankind is really a great surprise for India. It's only we that we can make the best of use of these resources of nature to build the environment properly and to harness it for the betterment of the mankind. Now I can just keep within 2 minutes I can tell you how the breeze of each tree is there. Let us take the example of the Azadirachta indica, the neem tree. Its leaves are serrate, and the leaves, the tree is built, and it has got the Ayurvedic benefit for the health and hygiene to maintain the environment properly. So everybody says that one hut or in the backyard or the foreyard of a bungalow or the rural areas houses, or even in the city bungalows, one tree if there, it will give the soothing and cold breeze. Now that is how it is very useful. It has oil, all parts of the Azadirachta indica are very much useful, and a lot of cosmetics and medicinal products are being done by a lot of companies that we see in the channels. Now let's say the example of the Audumbara. Sorry, the Audumbara, it has got the bulging middle portion and an oval type of shape of leaves which are little thick, and their points are, the tips are pointed. Now their arrangement of the leaves is such that the sunlight penetrates through them and you don't experiment or experience the breeze out of it. So, but the Audumbara itself is a very cool and calm and quiet plant, and you can easily experience the soothing and cooling effect of the plant, because it comes in the vicinity of higher water table and where the water underground is sufficient, and generally the water doesn't get exhausted even in the drought conditions in the vicinity of the Audambara when the well is built or well is dug. Now that is what the breeze of Audambara is, that if you don't feel the breeze. Now let us take the example of banyan tree. The banyan tree is thickly and it has got the prop roots and it grows like a big tree in acres in 200 and 300 feet diameter is the so big these banyan trees are. Now their all parts are very useful. The growth of the earthworm also is very fast under the banyan tree, the soil which there, because the weather is cool and the leaves are oval and there is a glossy and thick portion of the leaves and there is a cuticle layer. So the sunlight doesn't penetrate through these plants, but because of the leaves thickness and typical nature of the plant, the breeze also is not felt, but the cool weather, the calm and quiet weather and is experienced by each man. So this is how about the 4 trees I just said. Now let us take the example of people, last which I described, that is the blessing of these trees to India in maintaining of the environment. The people trees have got a heart-shaped leaves and pointed at the tip. Now when they move with a breeze, little breeze from the western side, the leaves are so arranged that when the breeze or when the wind from the western side touches the leaves, it moves. The leaves of the banyan tree, I mean the people tree, move like a Japanese fan, and their breeze is very soothing, like the Japanese fan touching our body and the hair and oozing, really giving a very light, pleasant, surprising wind which reduces our tension. And that is what I discovered out of my own experiences. Now when you come, so that is how the nature has bestowed his blessings to country like India. Now let us come to the example which I have cited and selected for the country like India and other countries of the world which always face the rainwater. The precipitation is hardly in Middle East countries, not more than 4, including Israel. We had gone in Israel, we wouldn't see these 4 trees, including the rain tree. Now in India, what we see in the rain tree, I can quote you the example by what I have said in agriculture college, and its shape is like an umbrella, and their leaves are the bigger size of the tamarind tree, and they are so thick that the sunlight doesn't penetrate. So therefore you don't feel the breeze is coming out of it, but the whole canopy is covered so nicely, so thickly, and it is in a circular and semicircular shape. Their bark is very huge. The plants grow well, and there is a total very cool shade under this tree. In a periphery of about 100 to 300 feet is the dimension of a big rain tree. Now in this tree, what you will feel, I can explain you how the coolness of this tree can be felt. I can make a simile by telling you that when in summer a housewife keeps water in a earthen pot, and to make it earlier to get the cooler, it puts a white cloth or which is made wet, and after some time that water becomes quite potable within 1 hour. So if you just lift that wet cloth and feel that how cool it is, the same feeling of the actual temperature is felt when you stand near the bark or about 10 to 15 feet away from the under this tree, that the feeling of holding a wet cool cloth which was put under the near the around the earthen pot, same feeling you get, and that is the greatest advantage of the kind of experience that you can feel of my experimentation or my experiences. And that is how above 50 feet or 90 feet, when the clouds pass either in the evening or early in the morning, those clouds catch the wetness or the coolness of this tree and make the rain fall in that vicinity of those rain trees, avenues. And therefore, I very strongly recommend to all the people of India and Asian countries where this tree could be easily planted. It may take 5 to 10 years or 15 years, but if we well begun is half done. If you think right, even right to prepare the seedlings out of this rendy plant and then you grow them as a forestry or a tree in the wasteland or the gairans or the grasslands which are there in the Gram Panchayat areas of the rural areas, I think it will be a best self-made or the utilization of a natural tree or environment to enrich this drought conditioned areas which create havoc or the bad things in the Asiatic countries, the Arabian countries or in Israel. And because we have already shown to the world that in desert also we have created the pomegranate by making experimentation and experiences with the utilization and implication and application of Dr. Bawasakar technology. And this has been now been found very highly implicable, practically economically viable to the below poverty line, BPL farmer or even the common farmer and the people of the young generation who are taking VRS and interested to take up the profession of agriculture of the tomorrow to make this country more prosperous. Thank you very much.